As far as I'm an event planner or a funeral director, there are some people that want to have a direct cremation, which you see ads in the paper for $13.95, $14.95, whatever, and that means direct cremation. Pick them up at the hospital and take them to the crematory, all right? You want to see them, come in, and that's going to cost you some money because the fact now it's going to be a viewing cost. If you want them embalmed, that's going to be a cost for embalming. They do not work for nothing. It is not a non-profit organization. The cemeteries are a non-profit, but Forest Hill Cemetery is probably one of the most beautiful cemeteries around, and it costs a lot of money to run it, and it is very expensive to be buried there. Cremation, they did approximately 575 burials last year. They did 1,560 cremations last year. They are one of the few ones that does accept a private party coming in and allowing them to come in as long as the paperwork is in order. And we did probably 1 or 2 of them a year, like that. And this was started in Arlington, Massachusetts, about 1967, where someone wanted to do it on their own, and all hell broke loose, and then they decided to let it pass and let them do it. So it is allowed. Am I correct on this? Okay. You keep shaking your head back and forth there.
That's interesting because when I did the cemetery, I did not get the word back from Forest Hills that they were willing to deal with people directly. So I'm glad to know that that's the case.
When was this? I retired from there a year ago, and I was there for 15 years before that. So
we can talk later.
okay. All right. Basically, it's been very interesting this evening of what's going on, and a couple of little notes I made here. Communication is a big thing. I believe of talking to a funeral director, if you do know one, it probably would be the one that dealt with your parents or your grandparents. And Jessica Mitford's book came out about 1963, 64. About 1969 or 70, the Federal Trade Commission came in and changed the pricing structure around the funeral homes. It used to be that you looked at the casket and it had a tag on there of, let's say, $5,000, all right? Federal Trade Commission came in and they wanted it changed around to the point that the public should not have to take all of this. So there are options out there, and it's called a functional pricing system. And the functional pricing system is broken down into facilities, livery, casket, and services, all right? Now the services are, if you want to go down and pick up your own death certificate and fill it out, there'll be a deduction taken off of there because it's going to cost him about $40 an hour for a man to go down to a doctor to get a certificate signed, to go over to fill it out properly, and then bring it to the burial permit wherever the person died to get a burial permit, and then bring it back to the funeral home. So there may be a deduction off there. It won't be $40. It'll probably be $20 for that particular item. There are other ones there that, as far as embalming is not required, all right? It was mentioned earlier that someone wanted to view the body. Well, if they want to view the body within 24 hours after the person died, they can probably get away without the embalming. But if I took a pound of hamburger right now and put it on the counter uncovered and come back in about 6 hours, you might find maggots on it, to be plain and truthful with you. So depending on the conditions of someone dying, where they live, the heat in the building, can cause a major problem. So they can view the body within 24 hours without embalming. After 24 hours there, it should be embalmed as far as a matter of health laws, right? As far as burials now, Forest Hills, Joe mentioned that you go by some green cemeteries, and 80% empty, all right? Has not caught on yet. Forest Hills did have 1 or 2 of them a couple of years ago. But basically, there are rules, and as far as the cemetery is concerned, that they have to have you refer to it as a vault. It basically is a liner or a grave box. The difference between the two of them is that they will take this grave box, they turn it over, and they will put the body on the ground and the grave box on top of that. And that was put in the mid-40s, mainly to prevention the sinking of the graves in old cemeteries of hills and valleys. So that was their answer to green burial. As far as there are other places around, and they don't want to use up all this land, this valuable land they have there, for the one a year that they may have as green burial. So they're doing it their way, and by putting the grave box over. The vault expression was used a couple of times. The vault is a sealed cement container that is airtight and watertight when it is closed. The casket sealed, I think, is a joke. It's the warranty that they give on it is worth the paper it's printed on, as far as they guarantee to the funeral home that it is in good working condition when they delivered it. If it leaks over the years, no one's around to see it. And the only time someone would see it if they were doing a disinterment from one cemetery to another, or from one grave to another.